Right guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are ranking every NBA logo. Before we get into the actual list, I just want to make the point that it's every modern day logo that's on this tier list. That is what I'm ranking essentially. I'll give my reasons for each one, and yeah, I just thought it'd be a fun video because I was thinking these logos have changed so much over the years, and I just wanted to see what they're doing now and see the newest logos and see how I feel about them. I've got a ranking system. We've got S tier, we've got A, we've got B, we've got C, and then we've got D. Obviously D goes in the lowest one, so anything that is horrible is going to go in D. Also going to order them within the tier list. I'll explain that while I'm going. But yeah, let's get into the video. So as you can see, I've got it here up on screen, and I'm going to be doing it as a go. I do have some notes written down, to be honest, just so I could get my head around 30 different kind of things. So yeah, let's get into it. Right, so the lowest one in this entire video, which people are going to hate, is Toronto Raptors. The reason is mainly because I love the Toronto Raptors old logo so much that this one annoys me how bad it is. It's not even the worst logo on the list, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not that bad. However, it's so much worse than their original one that I can't put it any higher than the lowest tier, at the lowest place. And the same thing is going to be true for the Pistons as well. So the same thing is true for the Pistons. The Pistons old logo was amazing. One of the best logos in the NBA. Them and the Raptors had the best two logos in the whole of the NBA, and then they ruined it. They ruined it. It's disgusting. They're both so plain, and they've been ruined. Absolutely ruined from their old logos, and that's why these two are the lowest on the list. Next, moving on, we have the Kings. Now, the Kings, it's an alright logo. I'm not really a big fan of the Kings or their logo. I think it's just a bit boring. Next, in the D category, we've got the Okc Thunder. I'm not a big fan. I don't like the combination of orange and blue. I used to really love the Sonics as well. And then when it changed, it kind of made me a bit like, whatever it changes to is bad anyway. But the orange and blue is not a combination for me that works in any way whatsoever. So that is also going in D as well. Now, moving on, we've got the Trailblazers. Boring. That's all I'm going to say. Just a boring logo. Then after that, we've got the Pacers, which people might say, oh, it's a nice logo. It's not bad. Getting into this point, I quite like all the logos from this point onwards, right? So the Pacers isn't a bad logo. I'm not a big fan of that yellowy kind of orange colour, but it's not bad. And it could be better, but it's not the worst one. Let's be honest. There's five worse than I've already named that are a lot more simple and a lot more plain. The Pacers one, never really watched the Pacers that much. They're just not that interesting to me. And then the final one in this list is the Washington Wizards. Now, the Washington Wizards, I really quite like the Washington Wizards. It's just, their logo is just a bit simple. It could have easily gone in C, but I tried to balance it out as much as possible. So the Washington Wizards is going to go in D for me. It's just a bit too simple and doesn't stand out enough in my opinion. Especially as much as like the Clippers logo, which I'm a big fan of the Clippers. It is just their name with a little logo on top. It's good, and in my opinion, I really like the Clippers, so that's why I put them in C. And then moving on from that, we've got the Nets, who I don't especially like, and I think their logo is a bit boring. It could be better, it could be worse, it's just there. The C tier for me is kind of just like, yeah, it's just there. Just like the Rockets as well. The Rockets logo is alright, but it's nothing special anymore. Yeah, it's nothing special, and with the C tier, again, like the Hawks, it's nothing very special, so I just put it in the C tier. Because it's an alright logo, but it's not something where you think that is the best logo in the whole of the NBA. Now, this is where the logos get to the point where they're exciting, and I do like these logos. All of the rest of these logos, amazing logos, and they shouldn't change in my opinion. Like, they're amazing. It's like they shouldn't have changed the Pistons and the Raptors logo. They shouldn't change really any of these in my opinion. Moving on to the Nuggets, which are just in front of the Atlanta Hawks, if it will let me. There we go. So The Nuggets are just in front of the Atlanta Hawks, mainly because I like the Atlanta Hawks less than the Denver Nuggets. No, it's just the logo. It's just more appealing, a lot of different colours, more interesting than the Atlanta Hawks logo. Let's just say that. And then we've got a classic logo, which is the Orlando Magic. Now, the Magic haven't been a good team for a long time, but this logo just takes me back to those old times, and it looks like such a classic logo. I love it a lot, and it just reminds me of kind of olden times. I don't know if that's really bad. I'm only 18 years old, so it reminds me of a bit further back in history, let's say that. And then the last one in the C tier that just misses out on the B tier is the 76ers. In my initial draft, I did have this in the B tier, but then I thought I was trying to balance it out, and it just wasn't as good as the other logos in the B tier, which we are moving on to now. Now, this was a toss-up between the 76ers and the Jazz for me, so the Jazz is going in the B tier first. I like the musical note. I used to play guitar quite a lot. I'm sorry, I just quite like the Jazz's logo, so we'll do that. Then, moving on from the Jazz, we've got the Mavs. Now, the Mavs is an interesting one. It's a good logo and it's interesting, but for me, it feels like there's just a little bit much going on for it to be one of my favourite logos. I like how it's not simple, it's not plain, but it's also got a lot going on, if you know what I mean, and it's a bit hard, it's a bit all over the place, a lot of different colours and a lot of different things within it, and to me it can be a bit overwhelming anyway, in my opinion. That just may be me. I know I'm saying, oh, that one's too simple, this one's too out there, out of the box, but that's just my opinion, and it's just a bit over the top in my opinion. Then moving on, we've got a logo that is like just done. This logo is just in my head all the time. I love the Bulls, they're one of my favourite teams. If I had to put it in an order, I'd say the Celtics, obviously, then probably the Grizzlies, and then the Bulls. I love the Bulls, I love the history, amazing fan base, and an amazing logo as well to go with that. It's not really like, I don't know, the fact that it says just Chicago Bulls above it, and it's just the bull obviously, which is obviously synonymous with the Bulls, it's good, but it's not the best thing, and it's not the most innovative thing ever. I love the logo, but it is a bit simple in some ways, but it's a classic logo which they should never change. It's synonymous with the NBA. Moving on, a logo that people might think is very basic, but I just love the Spurs. I've loved the Spurs since like I saw some of my favourite players, like Tim Duncan is one of my favourite players and one of the best players of all time, and every time I see that Spurs logo I think of Tim Duncan and just what that team achieved, and I don't know, I just like the Spurs, okay? It's fine, it's not that deep. It's just my opinion, and by the way, if you don't agree with any of my opinions, that's cool, but it's just an opinion, it's just a list. I'm some random guy on the internet whose opinion does not matter whatsoever, so let's chill. It's going to be above the Chicago Bulls. Next we move on to the Cavs. I like this logo a lot more than their old one. That is the main reason why it's going there. Their old one was horrible. They've done a lot better on this one, and I respect the improvement. Moving on from that, we are going into the Pelicans. The Pelicans, I'm not a big fan of the Pelicans like franchise overall. Them and the Denver Nuggets, I'm not the biggest fan over. However, their logo is something which I cannot disagree is beautiful. It's not too much going on, but it's interesting and got a cool graphic at the same time, and I like how they've integrated it, the name within the logo very well, and I really do appreciate this logo a lot. Moving on, we then we've got the final one in this, which is the Suns, a great logo, and I love it, love it so much. This one could have gone in A for me, but again, trying to balance out the list. So yeah, let's get into the A tier. Now the A tier is the logos that stick in my head and are synonymous with the NBA. Especially for me, I love a lot of these logos and they're quite special. Even though some of them are simplistic, like we'll see, they're amazing because they make the NBA what they are. And these are a lot of classic teams which people might say, oh, that logo is not as good as this logo, it's more graphically good. I don't know, but it's not really about that. It's about what they represent to me in my memory. Like I said, the Pacers, the Wizards, not really in the forefront of my memory all the time. But when I think of the NBA, I do, however, think of the Miami Heat and that LeBron James. Oh, he terrorized us. He terrorized us. That's why the Cavs logo is... I didn't like the Cavs logo when he played for them, but the Miami Heat logo is so good, and it's like D-Wade. What more can you say? It's just those teams were so iconic, and they ruined my childhood. Let's move on swiftly. Then we've got the Hornets, and then my whole argument of, oh, this is what the NBA is all about. This is not what the NBA is all about. The Hornets are literally the worst team in NBA history, in my opinion. But their logo's cool, and I like their colours. I'm a big fan of blue. The logo's really cool, and I really like it. So, well done, Hornets. MJ's got something, I guess. Then, moving on to the next one, we've got the New York Knicks. Now, I love New York, mainly because they were one of the original teams who have never changed the name and are in the NBA since the start, along with the Celtics. It's the only real reason why they're here. It's a logo which I've always loved and is amazing and is very synonymous with the NBA. Maybe not always for the right reasons, because people always call them bottlers. However, an amazing franchise and amazing teams throughout the years, and it's just a great, great city, and they deserve to be up high on this list. Then we go to Golden State, the people that broke my hearts. It's a great logo. The blue and yellow work quite well, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. Another one which I don't really want to talk about, but you cannot not talk about them. The Lakers, literally one of the best, well, the joint best team in NBA history on rings. Had some of the best players of all time. A scary team, and there's so many special players and so many people that are synonymous with it, and I'm grateful that they haven't changed the logo really at all. It's a great franchise and has a lot of history, and I do respect them a lot, even though I don't really want to, but they're a great franchise, and I respect how they play the game and their philosophy. Then the final one, the winner of the A tier, is the Bucks. I love deers. This video is so weird, isn't it, really? I'm just going through and saying, I like this animal, I don't like this animal. I like the font of this, I don't like that one. But I love deers, and I love that colour green. I love green, it's a great colour. So, yeah. What am I doing? Next we got the Timberwolves, a great logo. I'm not a massive fan of the Timberwolves. KG, obviously Kevin Garnett used to play for them. That doesn't mean I'm not a fan of them, but I just always think they're quite a boring team. However, I love their kits, the fonts they use on their kits, the logo, beautiful logo. And now we're down to two. Yeah, let's just get into it. The Memphis Grizzlies is next, my second team. I love Ja. I love a lot of the Memphis Grizzlies players. It's a great logo, and I also love blue, bears, and yeah, that's what you'll see from the ones in S. Those two are both blue, and they're both like wolves and like bears and stuff. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along, guys. Come on. And then at number one, we got the Celtics. But it's up there. The Celtics, best franchise of all time. Forever in my hearts. It's a logo that's changed throughout the years and developed into one of the most recognisable logos in the whole of the NBA. And that's why I love them. It's honestly the greatest franchise, and it changed my life and made me love basketball, as well as my home city and stuff, watching their basketball in England. It's a great time, and I really do love the Celtics and their logo and what it represents to me. It represents my childhood and how I grew up, everything that I love about the city of Boston, and just the culture around the Celtics. It epitomises it within the logo so well, with Lucky as well. I love Lucky so much. So that is the end of the video, guys. If you have liked this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you, and thank you so much if you have watched this far. This is just kind of a silly video where I just do whatever I want. I'm just making up some stuff for fun. It's kind of the off season, there's nothing to talk about. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have watched this far, I really do appreciate you, and thank you so much.